Hey everybody, this is Starman, and welcome to the final chapter of Let's Play the Tesla Effect. Well, as I said last time, I am going to try and show you all of the endings and extra little bits that we have not seen so far in this video. There's not much to it really, just everything in the hotel room scenes, and then there's a little bit extra in the Ariel sequence, but not too much more. We'll go through that. But let us go ahead and start, as I intended, with the Taylor ending.
You know, you should see someone about your breaking and entering addiction. How'd you find this place?
I'm a spy.
Oh, so now you're a secret agent. What's next? Gonna be a pirate?
No, I really am. The organization I work for, you couldn't pronounce it, but in English it's called the White Guard. We've been monitoring the translator for years. We've had our eye on you as well. So are you going to interrogate me? I have so much to confess.
Well, let's go with show off this time around.
So you're sure I couldn't pronounce that Russian name? I'm pretty good at pronunciation.
I'll be honest with you. I need your help, Tex. And I can help you, but I had to find out where your loyalties were.
Let's go with new activity.
So, what is it you think we can do for each other? I mean, other than the obvious.
That's why we're here, together, alone. I hope you don't mind. I took the liberty of ordering some food. Should be here any minute. I thought we could have a bite, get to know each other a little better.
Said the spider to the fly.
I told you, Tex, I've had my eye on you for a while.
Oh my.
And as you know, I'm not married. Who knows what lies ahead?
What lies ahead? That may be the truest thing you've ever said to me.
It's a rough world out there. Any of us could be dead tomorrow. I live in the moment. And right now, I want that moment to be with you.
So come to the Ariel, stay true to your girl, don't make a commitment. Well, I'm not sure if true to your girl is Chelsea or Taylor at this point, but let's stick with don't make a commitment.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. So full of possibilities. Is there a more intriguing or enticing word?
Yeah, it didn't make much difference at all.
Perhaps.
Must be the food. Do you mind getting it while I change?
Perhaps.
Now that did change things up a little bit.
Hey, cowboy. I was hoping I'd find you here.
So, yeah, friendly dismissal, feign fatigue, prepare to break up. Well, we definitely want to stick with her this time around, so, friendly dismissal.
Taylor, good to see you. I can't really talk right now.
I'm not interested in talking. I'm thinking a massage, a can of Red Bull would get you back into fighting shape. I'm sure you can go at least a couple rounds.
Forewarn her, beat her to the punch, bluff. Let's go with forewarn.
Okay. There's a woman in my bathroom.
Oh. Why is there a woman in your bathroom?
Big lie, direct Taylor to Ariel, prepare to jump ship.
Ready to eat?
Well, I guess you can ask her yourself.
I'm famished.
Hope for the best, defend yourself, be thoughtful.
I hope you ordered enough for 3.
So is this her?
Yeah, commit to Taylor, reject Taylor, menage a Tex. Commit to Taylor.
This is Taylor. We're getting back together.
Who was that?
Who knows? She said she was Mason Bauer's wife, but she wasn't.
Interesting outfit.
I think she may have been trying to seduce me.
And why did she slap you?
Well, obviously she didn't succeed.
I'm glad. So what do you want to do now?
Well, we have food coming and wine chilling.
Oh, I've got a lot of catching up to do. Sounds like a perfect way to start.
Taylor's something special, and I don't want to lose her. There's a magic she has. She's so accepting, and she puts me at ease. I used to believe Chelsea was the perfect one for me, but time and circumstances change, even if you don't want them to. As hard as you try, you can't go home again. Me and Taylor head back to my office on Chandler, where she insists on being brought up to speed on the case. That's good.
It's horrible what happened to Mason. And this is gonna sound terrible, but now he's gone, how are we ever gonna get your memory back?
Well, something tells me my memory may end up being the least of our worries here.
So if I've got this right, Dalton got Mason to thaw out Joe Hansen, who came back after 30 years with a few screws loose, calling himself the translator. And now he's building something called the Immortal Coil, which requires the spirit radio and the Tesla's egg, whatever that is. Do you really believe all that stuff about the radio and being able to contact this woman?
I don't know. You told me yesterday that Charles Johansson could come back from the dead. I wouldn't have believed that either, except I saw him with my own eyes. This is worth a try. I just need to find out what Margaret did with the egg.
Maybe you can pick her brain. Sorry, that's mean.
Who knows? Maybe that's why they cut off her head. I mean, Maldonado and Bowers both died protecting it, keeping it away from the translator, so maybe there's a way to tap into Margaret's memories directly from her brain. I don't know how else her head would have anything to do with the spirit radio or the Immortal Coil.
Well, cowboy, before you get too crazy, you might want to follow up on a lead I found for you. Called in some favors and found information on a property listed outside the city in Margaret Leonard's name. I thought we could go check it out. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Well, in order for me to get lucky, nothing unlucky has to happen to you, so I'm going by myself.
God, I love your tough guy shtick. You may just get lucky before, during, and after.
Before I head off to the Tesla Legacy Society, I get a call from Thompson Auld inviting me over to his house. Sounds like he's ready to talk.
Any luck locating the spirit radio?
I've got some leads, but it all seems to tie to something called the Immortal Coil.
I found something that you might find interesting. They did some experiments with interfacing brain circuitry. You might have been one of the first test subjects.
I'm sorry.
Memories are simply electronic impulses, and we are the sum of our memories. Now, on a cellular level, you're a completely different person than you were 7 years ago. But your essence is exactly the same as it was that night with Chelsea outside of the Golden Pagoda.
How do you know about Chelsea?
Well, first, and you may already know this, Chelsea is Margaret Leonard's daughter. Now, Margaret had lost her husband, and she was overwhelmed. So she put Chelsea in the care of a mutant family, the Bandos, and then tried to forget that she'd ever had a child.
That's pretty cold.
Well, it was a decision that she's regretted for decades. And years later, when she found Chelsea living at the Ritz, she rented a room so she could be close, but never revealed her true identity.
Yeah, and that's why we got abducted.
Now, Margaret was being funded by Gideon Enterprises, and an opportunistic manager named Dalton Fisk found out that Margaret's husband had stolen some very important documents.
The Tesla cache.
Dalton tried to force Margaret into reanimating Charles, but she refused and then disappeared. But then Dalton discovered that she had a daughter, and he came after her. Now, this much I can tell you. She's alive and well and living a new life. But I hope you'll understand that even if I could tell you more, I wouldn't.
Margaret was so frightened for Chelsea she gave her away. I mean, if I have to, I will too, because I never want to put Chelsea's life in danger.
I'm glad that you see it that way. It's really for the best. And now you have your own new life to lead. Which reminds me, I meant to get you the canister.
I want to punch this guy so bad.
Yeah, except I can't remember my new life.
Well, maybe that's not such a bad thing. But if you decide to use the spirit radio to try to get answers, you'll need help. Wait here.
This is where I come in. How about we go get that cryo chamber with old Maggie's head in it?
We can't let him have it.
I can hear you, you
Hold
know.
on, partner there. No need to get violent or anything. Let's just see if we can work this out, okay?
Oh, up there, is it?
You're hurt pretty bad. We've got to get you to the hospital.
No, you have to stop him. If they get inside her head, it will undo everything that Mason was fighting for.
Look, I know what they're after, and I think I can beat them to it. It's the Tesla egg, so let's just get you out of here.
Go! Go!
You're coming with me. Come on.
Yeah, apparently in the original draft of the game plan, there was an option to leave Thompson for dead
Couldn't
here.
shake the look of fear I saw in Alt's eyes as he was lying in a pool of his own blood. Slade had blown a hole through the little man without even a second thought. Could I really have been partners with someone like that? Maybe I did change over the last 7 years, but if I did, it has to be possible to change back. I need a weapon I can use against these psychopaths. I knew my only hope was somewhere at the Tesla Institute. Slade's trumped me at every corner, but the ace may be at Tesla.
Yeah, as I was saying, there was apparently a plan originally to have an option where you could just leave Thompson for dead after the revelation, depending upon what else you'd found out, that not only was Margaret Leonard responsible for taking Chelsea away from you, but, oh, by the way, I'm married to her now. Now, this ending we saw, they did change the video a little bit from the Somewhere I'll Find You path, where, you know, you're going after Chelsea wholeheartedly, where he does admit, yeah, she's my husband. Here, he's intentionally trying to obscure the truth. Although that doesn't stop Tex from finding out that, you know, he's her husband later, but I digress. Anyway, did want to include that little video since it was a little bit different and discuss that, as I said, in the original game plan, you could leave Thompson for dead, apparently, but they scrapped that as they're working with some other plot threads when they were rewriting the game on the fly while filming, and decided to eliminate that path, primarily because it was decided that even Tex, no matter how bad he's come, would not, you know, would leave, you know, an innocent man for dead. Even if the guy was, you know, hardly innocent, but I digress. Anyway, we will go ahead and skip past the whole Tesla Legacy Society sequence to go to the next change in the video.
Danwich, what are you doing here?
I put a tracking app on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me the whole time?
No, I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with
The
it.
bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now, I can explain that.
I understand. Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
Lieutenant, wait. I have something for you. Evidence of a mass murder that took place at the Tesla Legacy Society. It's related to at least 3 unsolved disappearances in your jurisdiction.
That's very interesting, and we'll talk about it as soon as I make this arrest.
No, hold on. Slade is the one who led this mass murder.
You have evidence of this?
I've got everything. Eyewitness testimony, sworn affidavits, even security video of the attack. You can resolve a bunch of cases and give closure to the victims' families.
And in exchange for this evidence?
Let Tex go. He's done nothing wrong. If he'd come to you, you wouldn't have been able to do anything. He risked his own life to do the right thing. I think he's a hero.
This is the last exception I make for you.
Well, fine by me. I mean, when am I going to find myself in this situation again?
6 months,
You
probably.
get those files to me?
Right away. Thank you, Lieutenant.
That's too much. So, you saved my bacon.
I kind of like your bacon.
Well, I'm just not used to somebody saving me.
But that's what partners do, right? What do you say, cowboy?
Yeah, what do you say? I'd say it's been a while since I saddled up, but I like your form.
I think you'd be impressed with how well I performed down the backstretch.
Well, I must say you're pretty impressive coming out of the gate.
It all depends on who's in the saddle.
Are we talking about the same thing?
I know what I'm talking about.
Well, well. If it isn't Dudley Do-Right. Caught me red-handed.
Yeah. You only get caught if you want to get caught.
What can I say? It's part of my job. I'm a spy.
Oh, so now you're a secret agent. What's next? Gonna be a pirate?
No, I really am. The organization I work for, you couldn't pronounce it, but in English it's called the White Guard. We've been monitoring the translator for years. We've had our eye on you as well. So are you going to interrogate me? I have so much to confess.
So you're sure I couldn't pronounce that Russian name? I'm pretty good at pronunciation.
I'll be honest with you. I need your help, Tex. And I can help you, but I had to find out where your loyalties were.
Really? Well, what about me? When do I find out about you and where your loyalties lie?
That's why we're here, together, alone. I hope you don't mind. I took the liberty of ordering some food. Should be here any minute. I thought we could have a bite, get to know each other a little better.
Said the spider to the fly.
I told you, Tex, I've had my eye on you for a while. And as you know, I'm not married. Who knows what lies ahead?
What lies ahead? That may be the truest thing you've ever said to me.
It's a rough world out there. Any of us could be dead tomorrow.
Me especially.
I live in the moment. And right now, I want that moment to be with you.
I could resist a pretty little liar, but a sexy sorceress who weaves such tall tales may have just hit my weak spot.
I look forward to hitting all your weak spots. I brought something more comfortable to wear. I hope that wasn't too presumptuous of me.
I think we're way past presumptuous.
That must be the food. Do you mind getting it while I change?
Hey, cowboy. I was hoping I'd find you here.
All right, now comes the time to be a total bastard. Because in case you forgot, we did sleep with her as part of our pathway up to this point.
Wow. Perfect timing.
What is it?
Come on in.
Is something wrong?
There's a woman in my bathroom.
Oh. Why is there a woman in your bathroom?
We will go completely and totally bastardly on this.
Ready to eat?
Well, I guess you can ask her yourself.
I'm famished.
Taylor, meet Ariel. Ariel, meet Taylor.
So is this her?
Actually, it's somebody else.
There's actually a few ways that you can play this out depending upon how you play things with Taylor in the scene, but this one actually ends with Tex getting off the best, I think. No pun intended.
I am completely yours right now.
Well, I am absolutely famished. Maybe while we wait for the food, we should enjoy a little appetizer.
Ariel may be a compulsive liar, but this mythomaniac had her charms. Besides, it really didn't matter anymore. A guy like me has never been the type of person for Chelsea or Taylor. My chance to live in a white picket fence world's passed me by. Whatever awaits me now is no longer fate, but my own creation. Before Ariel leaves, she gives me a peculiar item, a key to the sewers of Chandler Avenue. After my understandable hesitation, she says it will lead me to answers I'm looking for.
Yeah, because every game has to have a sewer level. And let's turn down the ambient sound on this because, yeah, you will see that we are now on the path out of the past. We don't want to turn these down too soft for reasons that will become apparent. And that did not help at all. Anyway, you'll see question marks here that refer to something called the Vault of Mystery. This would be a clue left by the Morlock Hunters. Because there is a Morlock down here in the sewers running on a set pathway. And if we run into him, it is game over. Thankfully, he seems to be on an established track, so as long as you aren't directly in front of him, it isn't going to be an issue. In fact, I was able to get right behind him and follow him around to the place that I need to go to in my preliminary playthrough of this, but I did want to take a quick moment to talk about how each pathway of the game, of the three main ones, has a special inaccessible area you can only get to on that playthrough. In the path where you stay true to Chelsea, it's the Shrine to Chelsea in the spare room at the Ritz that Taylor gives you. If you play through the pathway where you stick with Taylor, at least early on, you get the key to your room at the resort where you get to see all of the mementos that show that Tex has become something of a ladies' man in the past 7 years. And if you take the aerial path, you get this pathway to a sewer, which then leads to somewhere else. And I get the feeling they had more planned for this sewer maze, because I'm going to warn you right now that once we get to the end of this, it's going to be really anticlimactic, and you have to ask, well, why didn't Ariel just tell me to go here in the first place instead of making me run around in a sewer? Apart from the possibility that Ariel is playing you and trying to get you killed off for some reason, but that's neither here nor there. It also begs the question of how she got all this if she really hadn't seen you apart from the one time a few years ago, like she said earlier. But anyway, this is a sewer maze, and I think I mostly remember the way through it. The funny thing about this maze is that unlike the standard rule of mazes, where you just keep your hand on the left wall and keep following it around to find the exit, this one you mostly bear right. As best you can. Now, following left might work too. And yeah, we can hear Morlock footsteps, but I think that's coming through this part here. And if we do run into the Morlock, I might be able to demonstrate a neat little thing I read about in my research. And yeah, here's F-66. But yeah, apparently, I didn't know this when I was filming the main part of the playthrough for Chelsea, there is a glitch in the game where if you run into a hostile instant kill thing, like the insects in the Tesla Legacy Society, or the plasma balls, or the Morlock in the sewers, or the monks in Seysen, you can immediately save yourself by clicking the right menu and taking yourself to your Smart Alex menu, because apparently you don't register as long as you're in that menu. Now, of course, managing to get that up in time is the trick, and well, there we go, see? Let's go ahead and follow this fellow around.
Morlock. Better steer clear of his path.
In fact, I'm pretty sure he didn't see me because of that. But what the hey, just to make sure. And yep, didn't see us. Okay, so continuing with the idea of curving around right whenever possible. And, well, okay, in this case, it didn't quite work, but I know we're relatively close to where we're supposed to be. It did take us down a slight dead end, but yeah, maybe this is not the best place to be talking about dead ends. I believe we're looking for Locker 56, if memory serves. And yeah, another dead end. I think we're getting close. The ambient music is getting creepier. You're really going to hate it once you see what we came here for. This big maze, all these twisty pathways, more evidence of a giant spider. But here we are, marked with question mark. 56. The Vault of Mystery. And it is here that we find, well, a bunch of photos and magazines. A stash of playbubs. So this is what happened to Nilo's old porn stash. I mean his stash of porn, not his, you know, porn mustache. But yes, Rasputin the Mystic. Your future. I want to be big.
pick up the card from the old fortune teller device, and it features the name of a warehouse located in Chinatown. Behind the card is a handwritten message. The key to the future lies buried in the past. The name on the back of the card struck a chord inside my head, but I didn't know why. But 30 minutes later, I found myself standing outside an old warehouse in Chinatown known as the Blue Dragon. The place felt strangely familiar, and I want to find out why.
Are your memories returning? Do you now see the seeds of your betrayal? Your fate is to burn in the depths of hell. But there may be a chance for redemption, even for a dog like you.
Alright, well that was random and cryptic. Which pretty much sums up the Blue Dragon warehouse. Again, this is a part where I think that the intent behind the game and what actually got completed and filmed may have differed a bit. Because if you listen to the Tex Murphy radio show and read up on Aaron Connor's intent for the series, there was going to be a story set between Pandora Directive and Overseer, which dealt with Tex Murphy taking on the case of what happened to the missing Russian princess Anastasia.
This'll help me out.
And how that would wind up introducing the whole idea of him being the reincarnation of this detective.
I'll sure use this.
Who'd had an encounter with the Russian family in a bit. And there's several items here to look at, but I'm trying to gather up these picture pieces first.
Another piece.
And this is where having the flashlight that highlights objects.
Another piece. Got it. Another piece.
Is really helping.
This'll help me out.
Because we have 15 of these things to pick up.
I can use this piece. I can sure use this. An old Victrola record player. Similar to the one in my office. I can use this piece.
And we will look at all of this eventually.
Another piece.
Okay, so that has given us 13 pieces. Tex somehow knows that it's still missing pieces. Okay, we'll go ahead and start clicking on the objects from right to left as we look for the rest of them.
Use this.
There's 14.
Just give us the girl. Take the 50 G's and head back to New York. Easy peasy.
Yeah, leave the treasure of the Tsar to you upstanding citizens. Nice try.
Yeah, just like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves, right? I didn't think you believed in fairy tales, Donnelly.
You can pay me 50 grand for the girl, but if you want the egg, I already told you she doesn't have it. Still, 50 grand is 50 grand.
Buy me White Russian, let's talk further.
And yeah, each of these objects brings up a weird little flashback. And in case it isn't obvious enough at this point, these are all flashbacks from the life of J.T. Donnelly, who Tex is supposedly the reincarnation of.
Ditch me like that again, you might end up dead.
So now you threaten me, Mr. Donnelly. Make up your mind. Are you here to protect me or kill me?
I'm not the one you have to worry about, Princess. You have no idea who's after you, do you?
And suddenly, J.T. Donnelly has a really bad southern accent.
This isn't enough. What else can I buy you with?
Wise up, Princess. The only thing I'm interested in rubbing together is 2 nickels.
Then what else can I give you?
Well, for starters, I've heard rumors about something called the Treasure of the Tsars.
Never heard of it.
It's a legendary treasure trove hidden in a cave chock full of unimaginable wealth.
Key word being legendary.
That egg of yours just might be the key to something very big.
And yeah, this Fabergé egg that Count Saint Germain was looking for and the Tesla egg were supposed to overlap at this point in the story. And apparently Aaron Connors is still working on eventually writing a novel telling that story, as well as 2 more books set after the Tesla cache that will close Tex's story out once and for all.
We're about to be dry gulched, so hurry it up, princess.
Would you quit calling me that? I am going as fast as I can.
We gotta get some distance between us and the Three Stooges.
You don't even know where we are. We are in the middle of nowhere.
Darling, that is the least of our problems. Now move!
It's a shame that this part didn't get developed more, because this is pretty interesting.
Well, this envelope's dated. It's an old newspaper clipping about an heiress being rediscovered.
In this case, is this the secret Romanov daughter? And then meets with Tesla to find answers. Mysterious Tesla invention may reveal the truth.
So are we going back to your hotel?
No time, sweetheart. Yang's gonna collect our stuff and keep it at the Blue Dragon till we come back for it.
What about my egg?
Well, which one? We got a regular chicken farm around here.
I don't care about the copper egg.
Well, Tesla cares about it, and unlike you, he's paying me. The copper egg's at the Ritz, where no one can find it except me.
And my Fabergé egg?
We'll talk about that on the train, so let's get a move on before we miss it.
And for once, there's nothing in that toolbox.
To J.T. Donnelly, my favorite stuntman at Saddle Pal, signed Gene Autry. What is going on here?
It's a good question, but unfortunately we won't get an answer.
Did you see them? Do they know that I'm on the train?
I did see them, but they're searching the train slowly. First 2 aren't a problem, but the third man, he's a real hard case. I didn't get a good look at him, but he's trouble.
So we're trapped.
Not yet. I need to check something out. You wait here and lock the door. Don't open it for anyone, not even me.
And yeah, still missing one piece of this. Darned if I know where, though. A lot of smoke bomb stuff.
An old Victrola record player. Similar to the one in my office. We're about to be dry gulched, so hurry it up!
We click on that one already. Oh, yeah.
Another piece.
Okay, so now it is referred to as torn photograph. And, yep, it is another matching puzzle. And this one's fairly annoying, but we have enough points now. I think we can go ahead and just wait for this to fill in, and then we get the option to skip the puzzle. So yes, points lost for doing that. We get a picture of our mystery woman with an elderly Nikola Tesla.
This photo must be over 100 years old. It shows Nikola Tesla, another man, and a woman who looks strikingly similar to the woman on my vidphone messages.
So yes, that lady with the white Russian, this is apparently the reincarnation of the lost Romanov princess. And there's some comment to be made about a redhead Russian secret agent named Romanov, but I think we spent enough time on this already. So yes, this is the grand secret that you get from Ariel about, you know, helping you out, although really this just gives us more questions than answers. And as I said, this is all part of a plot line that apparently got mostly jettisoned when they were actually going through the plans for the game and what they actually had time to film. Bit frustrating. And I really wish they could have gotten a chance to do this story, give this story the justice it deserved. But maybe we'll get to see that in Aaron Connor's novel someday. I hope so, because his books, if you haven't read them, when you download the third and fourth game, Under a Killing Moon and Pandora Directive, off of Good Old Games, you actually get the original PDF of the Aaron Connor's tie-in novel as part of the downloadable package. He has rewritten the books slightly since then, I'm told. There's new editions of Under a Killing Moon and Pandora Directive as novels that change some things up a little bit for flow, but mostly eliminate some of the more archaic references to 90s culture with something that works a little bit better in the modern day. The archaic technology is still intact, though. Tex still has his fax machine. So, with that done,
This Russian woman has to be connected with Ariel and the White Guard movement. I feel like this isn't directly related to my case at the moment, yet somehow it'll shortly weave together. This warehouse must have been used by J.T. Donnelly, but what's the connection between the Romanovs and Tesla? Clues all happened 100 years ago, but they feel like my own memories. That thought gives me an eerie chill that's haunting and disturbing beyond words. Just then, I get a call from Archie, who says he has a lead and I should come over.
What are you doing here?
Or is here, anyway?
App on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me ever since?
No. I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
The bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now that I can explain.
I understand Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
You can put those handcuffs away.
I don't know who you are, but I advise you not to get involved.
I said put those handcuffs away, or you'll be wearing a set of your own. This is military property. You're out of your jurisdiction, Lieutenant. National Surveillance Agency will take it from here.
I'm gonna need to see more than a badge and take your word for it.
I am giving you one chance to walk away. It's all gonna go down the same no matter what you do. But if you don't want your career completely and utterly destroyed, I'd walk away.
I have 2 unsolved murders on my hands. I'm supposed to walk away from that?
I'd suggest rounding up the usual suspects. It might be a good idea for you to disappear from Chandler Avenue for a while. The White Guard is meeting next week. I could be induced to arrange a passage.
Well, I could use a trip.
They have very deep pockets. Enough to cover our expenses.
Our expenses?
Uh-huh.
Ariel, I believe this is the beginning of a completely unhealthy relationship.
Perhaps.
And Casablanca reference for the win.
Hey, cowboy.
I was hoping I'd find you here.
Taylor, it's so good to see you, but boy, am I pushed right now. You know, maybe we could talk tomorrow over breakfast.
I'm thinking a massage, a can of Red Bull to get you back into fighting shape. I'm sure you can go at least a couple rounds.
Great idea, but we should go somewhere else. They called. There's been a gas leak. You need to evacuate.
You forgot about a gas leak.
Oh, the gas, it's already affecting me.
Tex, do you need some help out there?
Who's that?
It's maintenance. Not only is there a gas leak, but we're having a problem with hot water, too.
More like a hot air problem. How dumb do you think I am?
Ready to eat? I'm famished.
Taylor, meet Ariel. Ariel, meet Taylor.
So is this her?
I'm so glad you two could finally meet. And since we're all together, how about a big sleepover? Guess that was a bad idea. Incredibly bad idea.
Well, it's not that bad, really. There are plenty of other fish in the sea just waiting to reject me. The good news is that without further distractions, I can focus on my case. I get a call from Archie who says he has a lead for me and I should come over right away.
What are you doing here?
I put a tracking app on your smart Alex when you let me download that video of Bowers.
Serves me right for trusting a cop. You've been tailing me ever since?
No. I wanted to trust you, I really did. But you're a suspect in some unsolved cases, and I thought, possibly and quite likely, you'd go back to your old MO at some point. Tex Murphy, you're under arrest.
You're arresting me? For what?
For the murder of Jim Slade and another as yet unidentified male.
I didn't have anything to do with it.
The bodies were thrown from Coit Tower, and we have witnesses that saw you leave the scene immediately after.
Now that I can explain.
I understand Slade was a very bad man, and probably deserved it. But I told you before, I won't tolerate vigilantism.
Hi, this is Chelsea, and if we're playing phone tag, I guess I'm it. So leave a message and have a great day.
Hi, Chelsea, it's Tex. I got your number from your husband, so I could say goodbye. I'm going away. Man, it sure didn't work out the way I'd hoped. I always thought you and I'd be together, but they can turn on a person in the cruelest way. I know you've got someone who cares for you deeply and can take care of all your needs. I guess I never could seem to pull things together and offer you the life and security you deserve. Maybe if I'd taken a different path, it might have worked out. My hope now is that you'll have the joy with Thompson that I wish I could have brought you. But you'll always be my special girl. Bye.
Meanwhile, in a Robert Rodriguez movie being filmed someplace else,
Hello, mate.
Have a drink. I saved my first one to have with you.
I see that. Who's your girlfriend?
That's Sapphire. Why don't you go powder your nose, honey? think we'll head west. The petrified forest. Maybe it's not a perfect world, but it's the best I've got. I might have been somebody else over the past 7 years, but I'm ready to leave that behind me. I've been given a second chance, and I intend to make the most of it. I sense this is just the beginning of something bigger, and what comes next may not be easy. But then again, what is?
So, yeah, that is all of the endings of the Tesla Effect. The only real difference between To Have and Have Not and the Petrified Forest ending is you get that little coda where Tex says goodbye to Chelsea, and that's only if you completely screwed things up and didn't, you know, if you try to stay true to Chelsea toward the end, you'll get that much. But if you don't ask about her at the beginning, that's the best you can hope for. Otherwise, you wind up riding off into the sunset with Sapphire the Drag Queen. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, you know, I'm a romantic. I want Tex and Chelsea to wind up together, but at least Tex does get some sense of closure, and he does get revenge on Dalton. So, you know, you get that for what little it's worth. Not much else to say beyond that. I didn't already say in my conclusion to the Somewhere I'll Find You ending back in episode 18 of this. And Doug Vandergriff came back to do the storyboard art for this, along with Adrian Carr, and was the lead animator and a level designer, and played Rook, in case you forgot that one. But there is one more little bit, which does come at the end of all of the post-credit sequences to make up for the lack of the Chelsea and Tex finally ending that Day of the Golden Pagoda. And we'll just go ahead and skip through the credits to that part.
Your programming here at New San Francisco Voice Channel 6 for an urgent bulletin. A tragedy in our fair metropolis today as all 3 members of the Knights Templar without a K have been found murdered in the sewers near Telegraph Hill. The images we're about to show are graphic and may be upsetting to some viewers. This trio of self-proclaimed superheroes have, according to their blogs, been protecting our city from the forces of darkness, and indeed, violent crime is down almost 0.5%. Putting our crime rate only slightly higher than Syria. Recent tweets from the victims describe battles against an invading army of Morlocks, the fictional characters from H.G. Wells' Time Machine. When asked to comment on the slain Crusaders, one police officer at the scene said, quote, "Hell, they probably killed each other on accident." So while we may not have witnessed the gallant exploits of these stealthy vigilantes, or even once experienced the terror and destruction of demon spawn, it is with a heavy heart that we here at the New San Francisco Voice say to the Knights Templar without a K, thank you. Now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So, yeah, remember those guys we saw in that one clip? Apparently they died. Which is a gloriously random way to end this game. But Hey, that was the Tex Murphy series in a nutshell, really. It was just gloriously random, over the top, and a little bit weird at times, but you know what? It was a good series. I still think it is a good series for all the grousing I've done about nonsensical puzzles, cheesy acting, the plot line just plain not making sense at some times because of them having to throw stuff together at the last minute for one reason or another. But you know what? I still love the series. I'm glad that I played through the whole thing. And I hope you've enjoyed watching me play through it as much as I've enjoyed playing through it for you. So with that being said, this is Starman, thanking you for watching, hoping you'll join me on the next adventure. And now let's conclude this with a little bit of chair dancing to this nice little jazzy Tex Murphy theme. I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. You can't see it, but I'm still totally chair dancing right now. Actually, I will make one quick note. I'm still chair dancing while I'm speaking, though. If you have not checked out the Tex Murphy novels, go to aaronconnors.com and do so. It's an interesting new take on the whole series, and allegedly there's 3 more books on the way someday that will tidy up all the loose ends and provide some kind of conclusion to Tex's story. And you should also check out the Tex Murphy radio shows that have been archived online. I'll include a link in the comments for this, so you don't have to Google it yourselves, but they're easy enough to find. Yeah, a lot of people contributed to this. I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you.